The most important and common chord in jazz music is the drop 2. Have you ever heard of that before? Whether or not you have, you probably know a shape or two of the drop 2 chord family. Check this out. You played that before, right? Just a minor 7 chord. That is a drop 2. How about this one? Maybe you played that shape before. That's a major 7, drop 2 chord. What does drop 2 mean? The term drop 2 is basically when you have a closed position chord. For example, this is a C major 7 chord. And closed position means the intervals are nice and tidy, root, 3rd, 5th, 7th. Just a regular 4-part chord all in a row, closed. So we have our C, E, G, B. Root, 3rd, 5, 7, closed. Closed for business. Now, all you do with a dropped 2 is you take the second note from the top, and this is the top of the guitar, this is the bottom. You take the second note from the top, this is that 5th note, the G, and you drop it down an octave. Drop 2. That's the note that we're going to be dropping. So I'm going to show you that position that we end up forming. So here's the G, we're going to drop it down. Now we have the 5th, and here's the root, here's the 3rd, and then here's the 7th. A little bit more jazzy sound, right? So when you drop the second note, you will end up with obviously a different finger position for each closed position chord. So there are 4 notes in a 4-part chord, just a regular, we're taking C major 7 here, 4 notes, so there's 4 possible ways to play this chord on these 4 strings. And we have, obviously this is the root position, which you may be familiar with. That's root, 5th, 7th, 3rd. Now we're going to move up and we have this position. That's 3rd, 7th, root, 5th. Then we have our second inversion here, the one we started with. That's 5th, root, 3rd, 7th. And then we move up here to our third inversion, which is 7th, 3rd, 5th, root. Also available down here. Now if you'll notice, the root and 5th and the 3rd and 7th are always right next to each other. So if you can see here, root, 5th, 3rd, 7th. Up to this position we have 3rd, 7th, root, 5th. Here we are again. We've got the 5th, root, 3rd, 7th. And then up here, 7th, 3rd, 5th, root. So that will help you kind of visualize the intervals within any drop 2 chord you learn, not just major 7, but minor 7, suspended 4th, dominant 7, etc., etc. So let's put this in a musical context, shall we? That's always the best way to learn. You've heard this before. Recognize that kind of cadence, that resolution. So I'm going to take that same thing and use drop 2s to deliver it so you can hear how these chords can really make a chord progression, even as boring as that one, that resolution, more interesting. So I'm going to, let's do G to C, so just a nice, I'm going to do that, but each G, I'm going to do G sus4 to G dominant 7. So that's going to be our cadence, and I'm going to use G sus4 to G dominant 7 drop 2s, and you'll see how this might affect the chord progression. that was root position. Now let's do root position and first inversion. About root position, first inversion, and second inversion. Remember, we're doing G sus4 to G7. We could go on all day like this. Basically, you can find a chord progression that contains major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, diminished 7, sus4. Any 4-part chord has drop 2s. You just follow the formula of dropping that second interval down an octave, and you will form one of 4 possible inversions of that 4-part chord. If any of that interval stuff does not make sense to you, check out my course, Guitar Super System. Link down in the description, and you'll learn all about intervals and how they work together in harmony, no pun intended. So again, I would start with major 7 and minor 7 drop 2s, just because those are kind of the more common chords that you'll find in music, and then move on to the dominant 7, minor 7 flat 5, and beyond. Again, I'm only on one string set. There are 2 other possible string sets to play these drop 2 inversions, and then we have drop 3 inversions, which I'll get to in a later lesson. But basically all you want to do is work on the finger positions and try and change in time, and really it's an awesome workout for your finger dexterity as well as your mental side of the music spectrum. So I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson, and until next time, keep shredding.